This agent has been on a team now for 5 years, Tristan and Associates. He is going to close $4.5 million in volume by February, right? We're only in January right now. By February, he'll have 4.5 million closed. And if he had a superpower, it would be that he wished he could fly.
Better believe it.
You like that intro, Zach?
Love it. I love it.
Zach, thanks for being here, dude. So Zack Neeley has been on. You're on Tristan Ahumada, from co-founder of Lab Coats. You've been on Tristan's team for 5 years, huh?
Yeah, 5 years now, man. Going strong.
Dude, I love it. All right, well, let's just jump in. Let's set the timer. This is our 10-minute Labs interview, so we're going to go deep with Zach in 10 minutes. And if you guys are keeping score at home, by the way, coming up really, really soon, like, is it next week? No, 2 weeks from now, we've got LCA's got their Chapter 2021 event. Have you heard about this event, Zach?
I don't have as many details as probably the public has, so.
So you have the inner secrets from Tristan, but this thing is going to be so cool. Basically, Tristan and Nick took so many of their favorite authors and they're having them break down books that they wrote, personal development, real estate books. It's going to be really, really cool. So if you haven't gotten that ticket already, Chapter 2021, that's literally the website. Go to chapter2021.com. Cool.
It's going to be a blast. There's going to be so many good authors on that, man.
It'll be fun. All right, ready? We're going to set a timer.
All right.
Siri, set a timer for 10 minutes. She's thinking. There you go. There's your 10-minute timer. All right, let's jump in. So I want to go back to the beginning. When you first were getting into real estate, were you like, I got a bunch of money in the bank, I'm saved up, I'm going to go start my career, or did it start some other way?
I wish, man. Oh man, I was just barely breaking it by. I was serving at the Cheesecake Factory for years, man, just making my way through, graduating college, and literally it just kind of all happened for chance. I always had interest in real estate, but I actually served Tristan and his family. They were at one of my tables.
So, are you serious?
Yeah.
And did you already have a real estate license?
I was actually not. I was talking about it, discussing it, thinking like, what am I going to make? Where am I going to make my next move? I can't be a server my whole life. Even though people make some good money doing that, I know I have passion for other things. And I started, talking with Tristan and his wife, and he brought up that he's a realtor. He's like, "What do you do outside of here?" But he didn't tell me he's a realtor. He's like, "Oh, what do you do other than this? You got to do something else." And I'm like, "Well, I'm actually thinking about getting my real estate license." And he's like, "You're kidding?" And I'm like, "No." And he said, "Well, I'm a realtor." And I went, "Oh, that's okay. Small world." He's like, "You got to get your license, man. And here's my card. Give me a call whenever you got your license." So fast forward a year later, I was just taking my tests. I was like, just finished up. They came back in. I randomly served them. They didn't even ask for me. Go figure. And I took care of them again, and we're talking, and they're like, "Dude, you still have my card?" And I actually still had his card in my waiter, like, check presenter thing that we always carry around. And I was like, "I'm planning on hitting you up. Don't worry, dude." So, a year later, at that point, I guess I passed my exam, got my license, and the rest is history, man.
That's so cool. And did you like immediately quit your job, or did you do real estate at the same time as serving for a while? How'd you make the transition?
Yeah, dude, I had to, do both for a little while. I was pretty much working at every time of the day. I mean, I would wake up in the morning and I would go to the office. I'd be there for my morning lead generation from 8 a.m. until about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Then I'd have to head home, change, and then head over to the Cheesecake Factory to work my shift. They'd usually start around 4 p.m. So I'd go from 4 p.m. till about midnight there, and then do it all over again the next day. So it was, 2 jobs full time, pretty much working from 8 a.m. until like midnight every single day for like a good, oh, dude, I probably was doing that for like the first year and a half, the first year. And then I started getting some business in real estate, closed a transaction here, transaction there. It took 2 years before I fully cut the ties, but like I could have cut it sooner. I was working at Cheesecake maybe 1 shift a week for a couple of hours. And it's like, man, once you cut ties, you really see a big difference in your real estate career when you have nothing else to fall back on, right?
So tell me about that when you finally cut ties. How did it change for you?
So once it became an encumbrance on going into Cheesecake Factory, like once it got in the way of, oh, I have an appointment, but I can't do it because I got to work a shift tonight. And I'd have to make up something to my clients because I'm not going to tell them, hey, yeah, I'm working as a server at night. I want them to know I'm successful. So, it was a little bit of a white lie. I'd be like, oh, I have an appointment. I have appointments tonight from 3 o'clock till the end of the evening. And it was serving. So,
well, the zero judgment for me on that. By the way, we've got some fans. We've got Tristan himself is watching. He's like, Zach.
What's up, dude?
But that's the thing is like when I wanted you to tell this story because there are so many people that have gotten in this industry, and we always talk about the top producers, the people selling hundreds of homes a year, and there's a path that you have to take to get into this, and you got to come from somewhere. So the hustle is amazing. All right, so let's back in that time. I've been told your team was like taking in like 1,500 leads a month, 2,000 leads a month, and you had a lot of agents coming in the team.
Yeah.
What did you do to make it through it? Like, how did you stand out? How did you become one of the superstars in the team?
Honestly, man, it's just consistency. I just was in the office. I was out in the field. I knew that, in order to make it through, you got to actually be on top of everything. You can't let the leads kind of get stale. So you see something come in, you got to reach out right away. You got to make sure you're on top of the follow-up and actually do what you're going to say you're going to do. So it was just being consistent, man. A lot of agents would come on the team and you get discouraged whenever you're, not seeing the results of your work. And you got to understand it takes time. What you do now, you're going to see 3 months from now. You just got to keep at it. So it was really consistency.
And how long did it take being consistent to build that pipeline for you? Because like you said, you didn't quit your job in the first 3 months, 6 months. Like, was it a while before you built up that pipeline?
Oh yeah. So I had 3 escrows that I opened within the first 6 months that all had to cancel. I didn't really know how to vet people very well and to explain the process very well. You kind of learn as you go, but you get the guidance, right? So first 6 months, I had 3 escrows that canceled. My first transaction closed after being like full on at it, still working at Cheesecake also after 9 months. So 9 months in, first deal closed. And then all of a sudden it was like a deal every other month. And then it might be 2 months down. And then I'd have 2 deals in a month. And then all of a sudden it started being consistent. So it was about a year and a half before I started seeing that pipeline start to show up. And dude, once one happens, another happens, all of a sudden 3 people you've been working on for a year, they come up, they're like, we're ready. So it was about a year and a half for me before.
I love it. And I have so many people right now that I'm going to tag in this recording because I want them to watch that, because that's it's one of the hardest things when you get into real estate to like, so how did you keep yourself motivated? How did you keep yourself consistent?
Honestly, man, it's just the belief. I have a really optimistic personality, and I'm not a guy that wakes up and reads my affirmations in the morning, or reads my goals in the morning. I don't have a vision board either. I've just always been so happy to be able to be here and to be able to do what I do. And so knowing what the end goal would be, it kept me motivated. Also, I have a really great girlfriend that she's kind of my why. Like, I want to create a life for us together, and I can't do that unless we make the money collectively to do that. So it really pushes me to wake up every morning and get at it, even through COVID. So
I love it. And what I'm hearing really more than the vision board, like you come from a place of gratitude. I mean, that's, does that,
yeah, that's a great way to put it. 100%.
I love it. All right. So we got a couple minutes left. What's one of the biggest mistakes you're seeing experience? I mean, at this point, 5 years in, you're getting pretty experienced. So what is one of the biggest mistakes you're seeing experienced agents making right now?
Honestly, dude, I think it comes down to them not working on themselves. A lot of people kind of forget that you don't have to recreate or reinvent the wheel, right? We understand the processes we need to go through. And so a lot of people, sometimes they get stuck in their old ways and they stick with the same exact script or the same strategy, same dialogue, same follow-up methods. The world's changing, that's why I like, being in business with Tristan. He's always ahead of the curve with everything we're doing. So I hope he's not watching right now, because that kind of makes me a little off. But bottom line, like, it's staying in your own ways. You got to keep learning. And that's something that a lot of people forget, is you got to work on yourself and keep learning the new ways that are coming around.
Absolutely. And so, and here's 2 ways to answer the next question. Is there something you learned in the last year that just rocked your world, or something you're hoping you'll learn in the next year that you're excited about?
Dude, that's a tough one. That's a good question. So yeah, right? Did you just come up with that?
Yeah,
I didn't see that on the sheet. No, I'm just kidding. Honestly, something that I learned in the last year is, it's really challenging whenever we're all by ourselves, right? Real estate's a very isolated world as it is. Even if we have a team, we're not always around our team. We're still working on like our business, our transactions. And so I think that it was a really tough lesson to realize that, like, you wake up and we're sheltering in place. And I don't know how it is all around the country, but out here we got to stay home. We got, and for a while we weren't even going into the office, just because it's not worth the risk. Right. So it's a real big challenge and it was challenging for me as well to push through that. All right, I'm by myself, isolation. Like, even though I'm around friends and family from time to time, the workflow. I really missed being in the office and being able to, talk with my colleagues while we're making our calls and doing our call nights and our events together, so that's been a big, hard challenge for me. I think a big lesson I learned is just keeping the eye on the target, man. Even if we're isolated, just keep moving forward.
I love it. And if you were going to give advice, we have 1 minute left. If you're going to give advice to a brand new agent, it sounds like that might be what you tell them. But what would you tell someone who's just kind of getting started in their career?
Join a team. Join a team. I didn't join a team when I first got my license. I kind of skipped that part in our story. I didn't join a team and I left real estate after a year. I didn't know what the heck I was doing. So to brand new, and are you asking real estate specific or just
real estate specific?
Join a team, join a good team, join the right team, right? You want to make sure the culture fits, but have that support. A lot of people aren't sure about commission cuts and things like that, but there are way more benefits to it than you think. 100% of one transaction or zero is way worse than 50 or 60% of 5, 10, 15 transactions. So join a team, get that support. That's the biggest advice I can give somebody.
I love it. I love it. And if you had to, if you don't do affirmations, but you have like 15 seconds, you have like a mantra or anything you say to yourself on a regular basis, you're a pretty positive guy.
So my phrase I always tell myself, because there's a lot of times of frustration and things like that, is treat people how you want to be treated.
I love it. That's our
right on time.
Right on time. But that simple way to end it, treat people how you want to be treated. That says a lot about who you are. If you look at the things that stood out in that interview, right? You come from a place of gratitude. We like that you are very consistent and you treat people the way you want to be treated. Just that's enough to build this career that you built, which is an amazing real estate career. So congrats, man.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that, Jesse.
All right. So guys, again, we will see you. Don't forget to check out Chapter 2021. That is the event that's happening. I think is it next week or the week after? I don't have the date in front of me, but it's happening very, very soon.
Very soon, yeah.
Very soon. Zach and I will be speed reading books to you for 2 days. No, there's actually professional authors talking about their books. It's going to be awesome. Tristan and Nick curated some of the best authors in the real estate space to put together this event. So check that out. Zach, thanks for doing being the last 10-minute labs of the week. It's super fun.
Thanks, Jesse, man. It's a pleasure. Good connect with you, man.
Absolutely. Have a good night. Bye, everybody. Enjoy your Friday.